Removing and reassembling the internal parts for a Guardian K81D fire hydrant without a top stop. Stop the flow of water to the hydrant by closing the auxiliary valve. Verify the hydrant is not under pressure by removing one of the hose caps and partially opening the hydrant. Remove the hydrant bonnet nuts and bolts. Set aside for later use. Remove the bonnet by turning the operating nut as though opening the hydrant. After a few turns, spin the bonnet off the hydrant by hand. After the bonnet assembly is disengaged from the stem, carefully lift the bonnet assembly straight up and off the stem. Remove the bonnet O-ring or gasket, depending on year of manufacture. Lower the seat-removing wrench over the stem until it seats and engages on the square of the stem breaker coupling. Put the nut supplied with the wrench on the exposed threads of the upper stem. Thread the nut down to hold the main valve assembly in the closed position. Rotate the wrench counterclockwise to separate the below-ground lower stem assembly from the bronze insert ring in the shoe. Remove the wrench. Remove the stem assembly by pulling it straight up through the upper barrel of the hydrant. Take care not to dislodge the O-rings by rubbing the seat ring against the inside of the hydrant barrel. Protect the threads of the upper stem by wrapping with a rag. Remove the bottom plate by turning counterclockwise as noted by the arrow. Remove the main valve rubber. Inspect the sealing surface, verifying that it's smooth and free from debris. Replace if necessary. Inspect the beveled sealing surface of the seat ring. It should be smooth and unobstructed. Inspect the drain valve facing and the O-rings on the seat ring. Replace if necessary. Replace the main valve rubber so its beveled edge mates with the bevel of the seat ring. Attach the bottom plate. Tighten to 300 foot-pounds. Arrange the brass drain valve and the seat ring in the closed position. Lubricate the O-rings and threads of the seat. Lower the stem valve assembly into the hydrant. Utilizing the seat-removing wrench, slowly rotate the stem assembly counterclockwise until the starter thread engages. Rotate the wrench clockwise until securely tightened to 100 foot-pounds. Inspect and replace the hydrant bonnet O-ring or gasket, depending on the year of manufacture. Inspect the O-rings in the neck of the bonnet assembly and lubricate with grease. Replace if necessary. Carefully lower the bonnet assembly over the upper stem. Turn the bonnet assembly until the operating nut engages the thread of the upper stem. Spin the bonnet assembly down until just short of contacting the upper barrel's flange. Insert the bonnet bolts. Bring the bonnet assembly into position by turning the operating nut with a wrench as though closing the hydrant. When the bonnet assembly starts to contact the flange of the upper barrel, close firmly. Place the nuts on the bonnet bolts. Using an alternating pattern, tighten the bonnet nuts and bolts evenly to a minimum of 75 foot-pounds. Open and close the hydrant fully to assure smooth and easy operation. With the hydrant in the closed position, slightly loosen one hose cap so that any trapped air may bleed out. Open the auxiliary valve to start the flow of water. Completely open the hydrant. When the water starts flowing from the hydrant, tighten the hose nozzle cap and inspect all joint connections for leaks. Close the hydrant completely. Loosen a nozzle cap to assist the hydrant draining. The hydrant is now in service and ready to operate. This completes the process of removing and reassembling the internal parts of the Kennedy Guardian K81D fire hydrant.